What's poppin'? It is your boy Random bringing you all things pop culture with a particular flair for the subculture. But in this particular video, I got my main man Chris with me, and we're just going to talk a little bit of Godzilla universe. And we both seen Godzilla King of the Monsters. And we're gonna talk about that, review it a little bit, and then talk about what needs to happen next. But before we get into that, Chris, did you hear that they have a Godzilla store from Toho, by way of Japan, and it touched down in Houston?
I heard that. I haven't heard anything on it, but I'm gonna be looking into that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. I'm gonna see if there's a maybe they have a website or something like that. We'll take a look at that. But I think it's neat. I heard it was a pretty good reception, and they had some lines and stuff like that. It just has some authentic Godzilla stuff in there. You got some Shin Godzilla, have some classic Godzilla stuff, have some things that it's almost like a Godzilla museum, and I just thought, you and I, since we grew up in Houston, we don't live there now, but since we grew up there, I thought that'd be pretty nice to have a Japanese store in our hometown.
That is, yeah, it's very interesting. I spent a lot of my Godzilla money in Houston when we were growing up
there. Yeah, buddy, I think it's kind of nice to see that there's a lot of people, in the culture that, actually are longtime Godzilla fans. Because I know you and I we grew up on it, Godzilla coming on Saturday mornings and stuff like that. It's just kind of good. You felt kind of like it wasn't that many people, but when you look at it nowadays, it is a ton of people that are Godzilla fans.
Yeah, which would make sense since considering that Texas is the hub of a lot of anime stuff. A lot of stuff is dubbed in Texas.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Okay. That is absolutely true. I tell you what, we both seen Godzilla King of the Monsters. We talked about it before, but we did not record it. We did not record it. We just kind of, talked about it a little bit, some of the things that we enjoyed and some of the things that, might have you scratching your head. But I don't know. But what are your thoughts? Let's go to King of the Monsters, because we know what's coming up after this, which is Kong versus Godzilla. But before we get to that, give me your feelings on Godzilla King of the Monsters.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the look of Godzilla, which is, there's a lot of good Godzilla looks, but I like the Godzilla that has more feline features in the face.
Love it.
And that's the Godzilla that we saw.
Yeah, love it.
And I appreciate how they incorporated Godzilla's mythos into this new universe.
I love it. And I love some of the callbacks to some of the classic monsters, Rodan, Mothra. That was pretty cool. And of course, King Ghidorah. That was nice. Get some of the familiar Titans that we know about.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I really like what they did. I like the characters, and I went in going in expecting a Godzilla movie, and that's what they gave us.
I know.
I appreciate that.
I agree, because the complaint in that first one, the one to 2014, it was like, oh, it wasn't enough Godzilla. They totally listened to the fans on this one.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on Mothra. What did you think about Mothra?
I loved Mothra. I love that they established that Mothra is the queen of monsters.
I love it. And
that she and Godzilla are a couple.
It did seem like that.
No, that's what they explained it. Like, when she's the only one that's immortal.
Okay, got you.
So when she dies, she comes back. But when she has that symbiotic relationship with Godzilla to supercharge him.
Definitely. You're right about that. They do have that symbiotic relationship, and she's immortal by virtue of reincarnation or resurrection. Probably more like reincarnation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
When she dies, an egg appears somewhere and she comes back.
Okay. Gotcha. So no, that is really, really cool, man. That's really cool. Give me your thoughts on Rodan.
Rodan was a jerk. A traitor.
Did he remind you of Starscream? He totally reminded me of Starscream.
Yeah, he really did.
Rodan. They made him, he looked cool. The whole fire thing, fire demon and all that. I think I like his mythos. That was pretty cool. But man, I like the way, speaking of, reminding me of Starscream, I like the fact that they gave these Titans some personality.
Yes, they did.
I think that was incredible, man. I think we can all get something for that. And let's go to King Ghidorah. Give me your thoughts on him.
I like how they set him up.
Okay.
I like that it's an alien
Yes.
king that
Yes.
came in to try to take over things. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that too. I could not agree more. I could not
And
agree more. Yeah, I like how they were saying that. He's basically, well, when they were talking about there's a natural order. Who's going to be the apex predator or whatever, and then they say, well, how do you explain King Ghidorah? Is like, well, he's alien. He doesn't belong in this order, not on this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's not in his order. So I love that. I really, really love it. I was like, you know what? They helped that make sense. How do you like the integration, the human integration in the form of Monarch? How do you feel about that?
I think Monarch, I appreciate it because it's the same thing that they did in Japan. It's they have a special force that deals with monsters.
Okay.
In Japan, that force ended up creating Godzilla.
Right.
And things like that, but there's always been a human observation and or containment element in the Godzilla universe, which I appreciate.
Okay, fair enough. I like that too. Now, we got to talk a little bit more about the main man himself, the apex predator, the king of monsters, Godzilla.
So, that's my boy. That is my boy. But before we get to that, I want to point out that how they explain how not only are these monsters a part of the world, they do things to the world.
I love it.
Like where they were, the one where it came out of the forest, they started growing. The forest started growing rapidly, where that one came out of.
Yeah.
And all these things, the monsters are healing the planet by their very nature, which is kind of cool.
I absolutely love that when they interweave that whole, the earth benefits from having Titans on it. I love that. I love that idea because it helps us settle in our mind that if things, for instance, if the Titans destroyed us, that doesn't mean that they would destroy the world. In fact, the world would actually, flourish. It'll start over, that kind of thing. So I do like how they kind of weave that in there, and how they show that their radiation, just like you said, just by the virtue of the fact that they're here, that they exist, that they can actually heal the planet, So actually, they by doing that, they made the quackpot, female who wanted to wake them all up. They actually made her seem right almost.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite interesting. But on to the main man, the titular character, Godzilla himself. I love the cat-like features. I love the slightly longer reach. I love the design. I love the way the scales still glow up, the classic roar, and the when he charges his atomic breath. I love all that. I really do. I love the fact that he's worshipped by society over the centuries. He's been worshipped by society. Then they have Atlantis. Look like the lost city of Atlantis, and that they worshipped him there as well. I like that. I love them actually not killing him, but I love the fact that they do have something that can affect him, which the oxygen bomb. I do like that idea that they have something.
Yeah.
That makes sense there. And I love the fact that Godzilla, he just has no fear, man. He was running up on King Ghidorah like, no, not in my house. It ain't going down like that. I loved it.
What I appreciate all that, but I didn't like is that they were called Titans.
Oh, why not?
Because for you, all the way up until this, they were kaiju, but because of Pacific Rim, they weren't going to use the word kaiju anymore.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Would you like the Mutos?
I like what they're doing with the Mutos. That was their first creation. I like that they brought them back. I like that they interact with the world too at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that Mutos are parasites on Godzilla's when they're younger.
Got you. Okay. I like that. So we love it. We love the movie. It was great. Big thumbs up from the both of us. And I guess before we move on to what's coming up in the future, go ahead and give me a scale of 1 to 10. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
8.5.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I have to co-sign that. I am with you. So let's move toward the future before we bring this call to a close, and that is Godzilla versus King Kong. What are your initial thoughts?
It's going to be pointless.
Why is that?
Godzilla took a nuke to the face and woke up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the radiation aside, that's a lot of force. It destroyed the entire city below them.
True.
Kong is not going to hit with the impact of a nuke ever.
Oh, okay. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, they did show us how super powered Godzilla is. He turned into burning Godzilla. I mean, that they showed us some of the most epic Godzilla I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So you're right. I don't know exactly what Kong is going to be able to do, but we have to go ahead.
I'll put it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Kong, we saw Kong taking bullets and getting pierced by bullets. He's not bulletproof.
Correct.
He's flesh.
Correct.
Godzilla, when he was mad, was walking through Boston, melting buildings as he walked by them.
He's not always
still beats flesh any day of the week.
Okay. Okay, Chris, you gotta stop. Because he's not gonna always be burning Godzilla. He worked his way up to that, and it took that to beat King Ghidorah.
Right, and King Kong works his way up to a roar to beat the armies that he was fighting. And roar, the scale is too vast.
Okay, and you're right. But they left the door open.
Right, but let me put it like this. Let's say they're the same size, and then let's scale them to human beings.
Okay.
Godzilla would be a human being, maybe with super strength.
Okay.
I mean, Kong would be. Okay. Godzilla would be all the
X-Men. Okay, I see what you're saying. However, they left the door open and they said, "Hey, he's still young, he's still growing." Okay, unless
he grows into psychic powers and hurls and lightning bolts like Raiden, it ain't about it.
Okay, I understand that, but they left the door open. Now they could do a callback to Godzilla versus King Kong. He could have the lightning hands. That's fine. Okay, we can believe that because it is classic. Okay, it does follow. And they could make him bigger. They can grow him another 200 feet because what? Skull Island happened in what, the 60s or 70s? So you're talking about 40 years later, 45 years later?
I get what you're saying, but let me make a comparison.
Go ahead.
It's like Tyson versus Colossus.
Okay.
Both of them are big. But they're two different categories. Tyson can hit the gym all he wants.
Uh-huh.
He's just gonna end up just hurting his hand punching Colossus.
Okay, but no. Time out. I can't let you do that. Okay. Okay. I agree that Kong is basically an ape. He's an overgrown gorilla. I get it. However, they have to even make this competitive. They have to change some things up on Kong. They have to power him up. Now, we have no.
I agree. They have to change everything on Kong.
Maybe not everything.
Godzilla got close-up attacks with fangs and claws and a tail.
Okay.
And he has range attacks of a nuclear radiation.
Okay. Before you think that I think that Kong stands a chance right now, I'm telling you now, I agree with you. There is no chance. I'm talking one blast. Okay. Just one, not even fully charged, and he's gone. He's barbecued. It's over. However, what I'm saying is that they're going to have to make some believable changes that we will accept in Kong. Making him bigger, we will accept that. You would accept him. You would accept Kong being 300 feet.
But it's the same Superman versus Batman argument.
Okay.
Everybody's saying Batman can beat Superman. No, he can't.
No, he can't.
Because Superman can be in space and hit him with heat vision in space and kill him. Game over. For Batman to beat Superman, there has to be specific conditions, specific settings, ideas to pre-authorize, and if he mentions his plan out loud at any point, Superman has a chance of overhearing it.
Okay, I got you. But that's the same thing with Kong, because that's the other thing. You can make him vastly more intelligent than Godzilla. You would increase his size, which also in turn would increase his strength. Nobody would have a problem if Kong is 5-10 times stronger than Godzilla. Not at his current height, but if they match the height within, say, 20 feet or so. And if you make Kong, 10 times stronger than Godzilla, nobody's going to have a problem with that. Okay. If you want to give him the lightning hands or whatever, that's fine. Nobody's going to have a problem with that. If you want to make him 3, 4, 5 times smarter than Godzilla, no one's going to have a problem with that. Okay.
That's true.
All right.
But at the end of the day, when you do all this, that's no longer Kong. That's a Kong-like entity.
Okay, but
it's not. But Godzilla, they up Kong, but Godzilla's power set stuck pretty much within what we've seen from Godzilla. Even the radiation nova that Godzilla was doing was something that
we've seen before.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything we've seen from Godzilla, we've seen before. The scale has been heightened, but you have to come up with entirely new things for Kong.
Okay.
To compete with Godzilla.
Okay. Well, how about this? I'm not going to even go outside the realm of what Kong has been able to do in the past. Now, again, he is still just a gorilla, but I'm not going to go outside the realm of what Kong was able to do. And this is me trying to play devil's advocate here. Okay. I think that Godzilla would mop the floor with him. No problem. Okay. But I'm trying to make an argument for Kong. Now, like I said, you increase his size, you increase his strength. He's already more intelligent anyway, but increase his intelligence. Okay. And also increase his dexterity. Okay. Far more agile than the more lizard-like Godzilla. Okay, so let's look at it like this here. They have a first encounter, and Godzilla mops the floor with him. Okay, it's over. It's a mollywhopping or whatever. Kong is off licking his wounds, but because he's smaller, the second fight is much closer because now he can plan and strategize, use his environment. With his strength, he can grab Godzilla by the tail, kind of throw him around, kind of ragdoll him like Hulk did Loki, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
But I'm saying it's a false battle. For them to make a real Godzilla versus King Kong fight, given what we've seen so far, they have to entirely change King Kong. So why promote that fight? You know what I mean?
No,
you have to.
I get you.
Okay, and that's my thing. There could be any other thing going on. Like I could see a Godzilla King Kong team up more than I could see a Godzilla King Kong fight.
Absolutely, I would love that more because I know Kong doesn't really stand a chance. I'm just trying to make an argument for him. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's always a way that you can make an argument for someone to win, but at the end of the day, if you have to change everything about the thing so that it can win, then it's no longer the thing.
I agree with you. I can't debate that. I can't debate that, but we do agree that for it to even be an interesting fight, they have to change it. They have to change something about Kong. Okay.
Right, and I think that's the problem. They want to do this epic King Kong Godzilla fight, but it's two separate scales. Even if they make Kong bigger, it's still two separate scales.
It is.
And I think they painted themselves in a corner out of nostalgia. The Godzilla from back in the day and the Kong from back in the day were more evenly matched.
Yeah, true.
And Godzilla didn't have a tenth of the ability as regeneration, anything like that. Godzilla didn't have that. Now he does.
Okay.
And all the other monsters are more powerful as well. Everybody except for Kong. They just made Kong bigger and stronger. But bigger and stronger doesn't matter when you're a bird that can turn into fire.
Yeah.
When you're a moth that can eject these things that, can injure people.
Okay.
Every other monster has something going on with them that the King Kong just can't compete with.
That is true, man. That is true. This is true. I'm trying. But I was gonna say this though. But we've seen at least Godzilla. We've seen power ups, okay, and we accepted all these power ups for Godzilla from these different incarnations. Why would it be unfair for Kong to have another power up like from the Lightning Fist or something?
I'll explain why. Every power that we've seen happen with Godzilla has been within his power set. He's gotten bigger, generates more energy, more damaging blast, and his energy generation has different effects.
Right.
Kong doesn't have any power like that.
True.
Kong doesn't have. Kong is too rooted in biology as opposed to mythology.
Ah, very well said. Very well stated. Now, could one make the argument that maybe it is just due for Kong to have a power up, and then going forward he would display those because this is a different Kong. This is not the Jackson Kong. It's not the Jackson Kong. It's, this is a different. He's already bigger than all the other incarnations of Kong. He's already different. He's a different dude.
But
yeah.
You have to. There's a loss at that. Yes, you can power up Kong. But when you power up Kong, Kong no longer becomes Kong. Kong becomes something else.
But that's not fair, because you can power up Godzilla and he's still Godzilla.
Right. Okay. So let's power up Kong. To power up Kong, we have to create new powers for him.
Okay.
To power up Godzilla, we just have to ramp up his powers.
Okay. Fair enough.
There's no powers to ramp up for Kong unless, if Kong came up with an optic blast, people would call foul. And they should.
True.
Because he hasn't shown anything like that. He's okay. Let's say he's smarter, and he can figure things out. He's still messing with a living atomic weapon.
That is true. But again, okay, with his intelligence and his increased strength and his agility, why can't he hop on Godzilla's back? Why can't he try to twist his neck? Why can't he try to grab him by the tail and throw him around and stuff? Why can't he do those type of things?
Okay, let's consider him doing that. He can hop on his neck. He can grab. He got range. I'm sorry. He doesn't have range because Godzilla got an energy blast. Godzilla has a protective radiation shield around him that can melt buildings. Kong has to get up on him, and to do that, he has to go through radiation that melts buildings, and he is still flesh.
That is true. So sorry, Kong. I tried, buddy. I like you, Kong. You are the man, but Godzilla is the apex predator. This is why people like, or we should say, Titans like King Ghidorah. If King Ghidorah couldn't take down Godzilla, I don't know what Kong is going to do. I tried to put my best foot forward, but Chris, I have to say, you came with sound logic, buddy. You came with sound logic.
I'll even one up it right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Go ahead.
Man of Steel. The Man of Steel fight between God and Superman.
Okay.
Similar level powers, massive destruction. Superman won.
Okay.
Then the next big threat was Batman. Really?
Very good comparison. I hate you for that.
And that's what's going to happen going into a Kong movie. You're like, okay, he fought somebody way more powerful than him, up his game, and won.
Mm-hmm.
Power scale. There's nothing that Kong can do that's equivalent to what King Ghidorah did.
You know what? No, you're right. I have to completely agree with that, man. I really do. I'm off my devil's advocate bandwagon, and I'm on the side of realism. And at the end of the day, unless they completely change who Kong is, and in a way they did. In fact, I think they missed an opportunity. They missed an on Kong Skull Island. If you were going to do a power up, you should have did it then.
Exactly.
You should have did it
then. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You can't have a Godzilla versus King Kong because there's no fight.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
The only thing you can do is research and look at the film. Could be about why why King Kong didn't heed the call when Godzilla called all the Titans.
Yep. Exactly.
Godzilla didn't come. When Ghidorah called all the Titans, King Kong didn't come.
Correct. Ghidorah made the
So
call.
that's the only benefit he has is that he has his own. He's like, yo, you could be king, but I ain't your servant.
Correct.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. Now, what I'm hearing is that they're heading to Skull Island. Just a rumor right now, but they're heading to Skull Island because that's where Hollow Earth is, or that's an entry exit point.
Okay,
So
I didn't hear that, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, and of course he couldn't answer the call because he's stuck on an island and Kong can't swim, so he's stuck on an island. But all the other Titans are heading that way.
Yeah. Kong can't.
Yeah.
Water. Because if you're swimming underwater for years,
yep,
you don't need to breathe.
Correct. And Kong clearly needs to breathe. So one of the rumors that I'm hearing is there's something going on in Hollow Earth, and the entry point is Skull Island. So there's a misunderstanding right there. So Kong is ready to defend his kingdom right there, and then whoever's going there, probably Godzilla, is not really there to fight Kong. Kong is just in the way.
Yeah, but you also got to look at some of the breadcrumbs they dropped too in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
When the submarine goes down, it's suddenly yanked to the decayed city that they suddenly destroyed, which they should not have done that. They should have had that around.
Agreed.
But something cool them there. We don't know what that is. It definitely wasn't Godzilla.
Agreed.
And then they blew up this city. Godzilla called home. Might be, or whoever pulled them there, or whatever pulled them there, there might be consequences to that.
Yeah, it could be. We will see, man. Only time will tell. I think they.
Yeah, if a good storyteller had their hands on the script, there should be consequences, because you don't show Atlantis and not call it Atlantic and call the story within 5 minutes of each other.
Right.
After being drugged there, and not only are you drugged there, you don't know where it is, and even when you're released, you don't know where it is.
Right.
So there is something going on with that.
Okay. All right. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. We know that they plan on releasing it next year, 2020. So that's going to be Godzilla King of the Monsters. You and I will chop it up if we hear any other news coming out of Hollywood, just to see kind of what happened. And as both of us being, a couple of, geek culture folks, we're going to definitely keep our eyes to the street, just see what we hear. If you hear anything, you let me know. I'll get you back on. But until next time, man, I appreciate you being here, man. We've been partners for a long, long time. So love to chop it up about this type of stuff, this sci-fi, this cultural type stuff. I mean, on this channel, we talk about everything geek culture. I don't care if you're talking about Street Fighter, anime, comic books, anything that's nerd culture. We love that kind of stuff. So join me next time. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, because this video is over.